Game Pass is home to some incredible games, ranging anywhere from great AAA titles like Halo and Gears of War, to even some amazing and even humorous titles that you'll see from the indie crowd. Titles like Human Fall Flat and Hollow Knight come to mind. One thing is for certain about Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass in general, that there are simply a ton of amazing games to play at no extra cost in your subscription. However, with that amazing library of games, there can also come some weird ones from time to time that will leave us scratching our heads. For me, when I first located Gorogoa on the Game Pass library a few days ago, I immediately wanted to download it as it looked like a very unique puzzle game, and so sight unseen for the most part, I decided to install it to my Series X. Puzzle games are typically meant to be engaging, thought-provoking, and even at times exciting, and I enjoy finding puzzle games really throughout Game Pass as well as through various other online platforms just to get a relaxing escape from some of the bigger genres that you see flooding the AAA landscape, including shooters and RPGs. Unfortunately for Gorogoa, not once at any point did I feel excited playing this game. They drop you into a game with no tutorial to speak of, and admittedly, I even had to pull up a guide just to figure out what I was doing in this game. In today's video, we're going to explore in our first episode of a new series for weird Game Pass games. We're going to be taking a deep dive look into Gorogoa in our review. Now, in Gorogoa, you find yourself guiding a boy through a variety of puzzles that seem to attempt to have you feel something for him through various stages of life. Potentially. I'm not really sure that's actually what the story is supposed to entail, because it was really something for me to struggle to grasp. Normally in puzzle games that are very artistic and ones that really attempt to pull you in just based on the puzzle itself or based upon the environment, I did not get that type of connection with this game, unfortunately. You could find yourself spending anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes on one particular section of a puzzle in any of the game's 6 main chapters. Now, one saving grace of this game I would say has to be the graphical presentation. If there's one thing I can compliment, it is just that. There's a very unique art style, and I did enjoy looking at some of the various scenes during my playthrough, which supposedly, if you have the memory, you could beat this game in under 30 minutes. However, in my initial playthrough, it did take me around 3 hours. There are unique landscapes and backdrops throughout the game that make me want to know and explore the world more based on that alone. However, the gameplay mixed with that just completely waters down the experience and not in a good way. As far as the gameplay is concerned, for the puzzle challenges, it's a pretty simple concept. You'll find yourself pressing, no more than about 3 or 4 buttons on the entire controller to help navigate you through each puzzle. That might seem simple, and you might be wondering right now why I had such a problem with this game, and it's because there really is no direction for you to know that. You really have to take the time in that first few minutes to really understand it, and that might seem standard for a game, but for a puzzle game at that, and one as simple as Gorogoa aims to be, it did take away from the overall experience right from the get-go. On top of that, during that gameplay, there was really no dialogue to speak of, and I couldn't quite understand what type of point the story was aiming to prove. There are many games that I can reference that I've played over the years in Game Pass that not only had great puzzles, but that you could see and understand more or less what you were aiming for. The Gardens Between was a great example of this that was on Game Pass in the past, and is one that I ultimately ended up going through and purchasing because I loved the game so much, and I would love to replay it again in the future just based on that enjoyment. Now, ultimately within Gorogoa, you find yourself using 4 tiles navigating various parts of each scene to connect the dots in a sense. This could be trying to slide certain parts of each tile onto other tiles throughout the puzzle. You could try to get the boy navigating from one doorway to another, or even climbing up ladders in certain cases. I see a system there that I feel like could have been great, but the downside so often is the lack of forward direction or hints. There's not really text in this game that I can recall, so you really have to focus on everything in each environment to try and move the game forward. Some puzzles also are timing based, but you wouldn't know the first time without a guide, which can be super frustrating in a game like this. I didn't feel accomplished as I progressed through the game, which was disappointing, as puzzle games should generate the opposite effect. Now, Gorogoa is a puzzle game that is literally that, a puzzle. I think the game itself is a great concept, and I feel it just needed some more time and maybe revisions to truly be engaging and memorable. I kept trying to imagine that I would be excited the more I progressed through the game, and instead I kept asking myself why I was still playing it. It is a puzzle I'm still trying to solve today, a few days after beating this game. While the game is pretty to look at with the various landscapes and unique art style, there isn't much else that got me excited during my playthrough. The only thing I will remember about Gorogoa is how thankful I was to finally finish it and uninstall it permanently off of my Series X. Gorogoa gets a very forgettable 4 out of 10 on our scale today. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for catching our first episode of Weird Game Pass Games. Be sure to let us know down in the comments some of your favorite Game Pass games and even some weird ones you want us to check out on the channel in the future. Be sure to also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and share this video with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing. We'll catch you in the next one.